loves! Welcome to the Flat Out Leadership Series, where we're ditching the norm and diving deep into the outrageous world of personal and professional growth. We've all been to stodgy leadership or management lectures, giving us all the perfect systems to work with X problem or Y opportunity. But the thing is, rarely does a system get down to brass tacks about how we show up as leaders when we bring those systems to life. And never have I seen a platform like this where we'll be exploring the lived experience of being a leader and how we cultivate the joy and pleasure for ourselves. So we can not only show up as the magnificent, intelligent leaders we are, but as whole beings, engaged in living pleasure-filled, joyful lives while being successful in conventional terms. And the best part, we're going to get to bring our own outrageous sparks to the work we do, and you'll get a taste of that at the end of each episode to keep your juices flowing and reinforce the knowledge that you can have your cake and eat it too. So, that being said, welcome to the first official episode of the Flat Out Leadership Series, sponsored by Sacred Leadership Institute, where we dive headfirst into personal and professional leadership revolution, living the lives and leadership we long for. I'm Corey Blake, and today I'm delving into a topic that's close to many of our hearts, what I would like to call the pushing paradox. Imagine a high-stakes scenario in the world of healthcare where the pressure is palpable, demands are relentless, and we find ourselves doing the unthinkable, pushing our team beyond their capacity. Been there, right? Today, we're not just scratching the surface, we're unearthing the layers of this paradox. So let's rewind to a specific incident in my life. So a number of years ago, I'm at work in the early afternoon, and I'm listening to all the calls coming in of patients that need to be seen, clients that need to be called back, and barking, lots of barking. I'm watching my team rush about, running from one fire to the next, trying to take the best care of the patients in front of them. And all I can see is how they could be more efficient, how they could plan better, how if I did it myself, I could do it faster or better. And how each moment we don't do it better costs our patients the care and attention they deserve. And so I push. I lay on the heat and I explain how we have to be able to meet the needs of our patients and clients. How do we do this? We're just going to power through the day. We're going to get it done. And the thing is, it's not just this day. Every single day is like this. Rinse and repeat. We should be able to do this. 5 years ago, we could do this. If they were better trained, had better motivation, or worked harder, we could make it happen, right? And my team, amazing humans that they are, they lean in. They believe in the work as much as I do. They push themselves. They come home, and the next morning they come back and they do it all over again. Until, after many rinse and repeat moments, I start to notice their hands shaking as they're rushing about. I notice them tearing up as they're doing their work. I notice the more frequent call-outs, and then they leave. They give their notice with the caveat of, I love this place and I love this team, but I just can't be this frantic anymore. I can't do it to myself. And the word that lives inside me in that moment is failure. Not theirs, mine. How is it when I'm trying so hard and putting in so much effort to make sure everything happens the way it's supposed to, I'm failing? How is it that I am so invested in this mission and this work, I'm pouring all of myself into this job, sacrificing myself for this team and this work, and yet, how is it that I can't hold a team together? So here's the deal. In these moments, there was a lot going on with me. In the midst of this chaos, my mind was a battleground of conflicting thoughts. The need for efficiency, the belief that I could do it all, and the fear that failing meant letting down those who depended on us. It's the classic narrative of working harder for prosperity. There was anxiety about making sure we produced enough to support our team. There was anxiety about making sure patient care was the absolute best it could be. And there was frustration that people's skills weren't top-notch or that they weren't working fast enough. But more than anything else, there was numbness, a numbness inside of me that was protecting me from the truth of what was going on. There I was, pushing team members who were already struggling, convinced it was the secret sauce for success, and I was so numbed out, I couldn't feel their experience, couldn't see beyond my own need to meet the preconceived idea in my head of how things are supposed to go. And crazily enough, the numbness was my way of denying my own experience of overwhelm, my own experience of being frantic all the time, and my own fear of not being good enough. The numbness was a self-protective mechanism, a shield against the fear and the perceived lack of control that surrounded me. And that was my barrier to success. I believed that in order to be successful, I had to power through, be brave, and get it done. It's just what needed to happen. And in the process, I was denying my own experience, which meant I couldn't bear witness to it in others. I was blind to it in them, just like I was blind to it in myself. There was no other way, no other choice that I could see. And so I continued on the path of my own destruction. Needless to say, something had to change. And the crazy part was that it was an extremely unconventional approach that took me from pushing and micromanaging to leaning back, observing, asking, and listening. Instead of holding on to the shoulds of how I believed I needed to behave or push myself, I learned some incredible tools that blasted through the numbness, allowed me to honor the experience that was living in my body, and to learn to listen to myself deeply, unfiltered. Fast forward to today, and my approach has undergone a radical transformation. Instead of being swept away by the chaos, I make a conscious effort to connect with my body, my energy, and my pleasure. I've learned to pause, assessing my personal desires in a situation before leaping into action. Now, here's the game-changing realization. When we're taught to value our ability to think over all else, and we're taught that conforming to the standards of others is where our value lies, it's a recipe for disaster. We're not machines, we're human. And as humans, we are not just brains on a stick. Our bodies contain just as much wisdom as our brains do, if we can access it. And as we move forward in this series, you'll get specific examples of just what I mean by that. In this example of pushing people harder, that happened because I had numbed out to my own experience. I denied what was happening in my body and my mind. I was disconnected from my energy and that of my team. Relational energy dynamics has immense value in our ability to lead our teams. And when we disconnect from our own experience, we simply cannot tap into that wealth of understanding for our teams. So here's the challenge. The key for me was breaking through the numbness and allowing for what was there. So, for your outrageous leadership dare this week, I challenge you to notice when you are swept up in the franticness, when you're pushing and striving, and when you notice it, I dare you to take 5 minutes to be instead of do. Be still, be quiet, feel your experience and what's alive for you. Grab yourself a cup of tea or sit down and close your eyes while listening to the sounds around you. Physically feel the room. When we stop doing for a moment, we can choose to be with what is and learn to hold that for ourselves. And when we do that, we become present, engaged leaders who can see their teams and witness their experience with fresh eyes. We need time to process. It's about considering team dynamics, understanding the desired collective emotions, and finding a solution that aligns with personal and team well-being. Witness how this seemingly unconventional act can transform your ability to lead effectively. Huge love and gratitude for being part of this leadership revolution. Don't forget to hit subscribe, throw us a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Oh, and for those of you whose mission gets the better of you and you find you're sacrificing your own happiness in the name of forwarding your mission in the world, go ahead and snag our freebie in the content link. 5 ways to turn off when your mission is bigger than you are. Find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook under Sacred Leadership Institute or on the web at sacredleadership.net. Thanks for tuning in, loves. I'll see you next week with our next episode of the Flat Out Leadership Series. Remember, it's time to lead with joy and pleasure. The revolution is here.